Welcome back, guys. Episode 6 of the Vet Scoop. Alongside Emma Cassidy, I'm Mike Messina, and I'm snowed in. I can't leave my house. I can't do anything. And it sucks because in my driveway, there's a big plow truck.
Ironic.
But it can't get plowed because
No.
the battery's dead. But
Wow.
I didn't know the battery was dead heading into the snowstorm. And the driveways, I'm not kidding, a mile long, so it's not possible to be shoveled. So I'm kind of just.
I mean, anything's possible if you're dedicated enough. But
I don't think I'm dedicated enough.
but I mean, truly, by the time you would finish shoveling it, you would have to start all over again. So it would just be perpetual shoveling. Yeah. The snow is pretty insane. It's finally like stopped snowing. I'm not sure. Maybe it's forecasted for more. I'm not positive.
On Friday.
Great. So it's not over.
Great.
I'm sure that it has impacted not just my classes, but everyone's across the board. I was meant to start in-person classes on Monday. And obviously that didn't happen because of the state of emergency and severe weather warning. So everything is sort of forced online, which really just goes to show you that all classes can be online if we believe in ourselves enough. So
not only classes, I think we learned that everything can be online these days, but I personally love that in-person interaction. So every chance I get, I'm doing in-person classes or going into the office. But I don't understand how, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure I read the email from Fordham saying that everything was shut down, but the gym was still open. Did you get that email?
I did, but when you go onto the website, it says that the gyms are still closed until further notice. So
they made this app now where you have to sign up through an app and you can only request an hour at a time.
Weird.
And you can't no group workouts, no like sauna, no really anything besides the gym and leave.
Most gyms are open now with like limited capacity though. So to me, it would at that point, it would just be more worthwhile to join a different gym.
Oh yeah.
So,
but if you're living on campus, it's just convenient.
That's true. Yeah. I keep forgetting people that live on campus. So that's so strange to me. Super strange concept. I'm almost jealous of them because I bet the maintenance is like pretty decent. The elevator in my building has been broken for a week. So luckily I live on the second floor, not a huge deal. I love a good stair exercise moment, but for people that live up on the sixth floor, especially people that are like wheelchair bound, very unfortunate. So
I lived on the fourth floor in my old apartment in the Bronx, but we didn't have an elevator. So
I bet moving was so much fun. Yeah.
Walking up couches, tables, it was not fun.
I will never move myself again after moving myself into this apartment. I'll never do it again.
What are you kind of hire moving people?
Yeah, absolutely.
Really?
Yeah. To me, it's worth it to spend $200 for 2 hours for people to do everything for me. Like I'm not pressed to spend that much so that I don't have to spend all day trying to get my furniture downstairs. So
yeah, my friends are my moving company for me. So whenever I need help, I just call two of my strongest friends.
Friends, what are those?
Works out perfectly.
All of my friends are women and we're strong, but I don't know that we're that strong.
Yeah, but moving couches up and down is hard for anybody.
True. It's really like, it's not the weight, it's the maneuverability that I struggle with.
The stairs in New York City are this thin. But you somehow have to get a 50-foot coffee table through it. It just doesn't work.
There ends up being a lot of like over the head action, but then you have like the ceiling is lower. So it's a whole thing. It reminds me very much so of the pivot moment in Friends when, I don't know if you've seen it.
I've seen it here and there.
So when they're trying to move Ross's couch up the stairs and he's like, pivot. And they're like, it won't pivot anymore. And it's like a whole debacle.
See, that stands true though, because it happens every time. And the hardest thing is getting it through the front door.
Yeah.
You can't take the legs off the couch, but the only way it fits is if you do. So then it ends up working somehow. So I was clearly wrong, but it's insane how difficult moving things through doors are.
Yeah, that's why I hire people, because they have a system. And I'm like, you do your thing. If you damage it, I get to like get covered for it and reimbursed. Whereas if I damage it, it's just my fault. So
yeah. See, if my friends damage anything when we're moving, I'm just like, well, whatever.
Oh, you're super chill, laid back. I'm like, you owe me $10,000 for that $40 coffee table.
No, I'm just like, whatever. It's not the end of the world. It's not the nicest of stuff anyway, you know?
Sure. Yeah, this is not exactly my forever furniture,
Yeah,
A
so
lot of it's like website based stuff. So
I had my mom's old couches that we had when I was in high school, so I was like, yeah, I
oh,
don't care about
they
these.
have a history.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I
History
want to know
that
that history.
history that they got brought into my apartment, and I didn't sit on them once because I bought a futon instead.
Oh, futons are where it's at though.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
oh
I
yeah.
really, if I had the room, I would have absolutely like an old school lazy boy if I could, and then just like nick that bad boy back and then chill all day. But I don't. So
See, but the thing about futons is like for the newer ones, they're getting hard to fold back up after you put it
okay.
down.
Oh no.
Like the one I have, it's not a one person job. You physically can't do it unless there's two people.
Oh, that's almost unfortunate,
Hmm.
So I have a trundle, which has been really convenient because it's just got the bed that pulls out when I have guests over.
Hmm.
So I now have, and the couch is technically a bed as well. So I have three beds instead of just one. But I also don't like people in my apartment. So
There you go. So you have no need to
no,
pull the trundle
but
out.
aesthetically it fits. So
Does the trundle pull out and raise so then you can have a bigger bed, or no? It's still on the floor.
no, it just so the frame is on the floor, then you just put the mattress on top, and
Mhm.
there you go. So it's pretty easy. I'm sure there are a variants of trundles, but that's what mine does. So, but it's pink and like a velvet, which is really like my aesthetic. So
Velvet, huh?
yeah, it's pretty dope. I love it.
Can't say I got any
But
velvet in this room.
no, but you have a flag back there.
I do. It's my friend started a woodworking company, so
Oh,
decided to support him a little bit and buy
pretty
one.
neat. Okay, cool. What was like the pricing like on something like that?
Um, so I think this costed 165,
Okay.
but he actually hooked it up because he does like raffles where like $20 a raffle and you get put in a hat and he pitched you for a free flag. So I could have got it
Oh
for
wow.
20, $40, but instead I lost. But then he made a Facebook post saying whatever you spent on the raffle, you can just put that towards a flag you want anyway. So then I got
Okay.
it for like 125. So it worked out perfectly.
Very cool.
Yeah.
It's pretty sizable, so that's a really good price for like
Oh,
that
it's
much work.
huge. It's huge. The
Very
the guy
cool.
was in my battalion for 4 years. We were in the same platoon, deployed together. So I like the guy. So decided to help him out a little bit.
Support small businesses, everybody.
You gotta. This is the
Speaking
perfect
of
time to do it.
speaking of business, not really speaking of business, but this seems like a good as time as any to mention that tomorrow there is a super cool resume workshop going on, which I don't know about you guys, but when I was in the military, the only experience that I had writing resumes was the brag sheet that I would write every year, which is similar, but not exactly the same format. So I do find that my resume was definitely lacking when I first started. And I was lucky that I had civilians sort of dedicated to reviewing those where I was at, but a lot of people don't have that resource. So having Lily Lee available to do the resume workshop every semester for us has been really great. And she's got one tomorrow. And registration, I believe, is still currently open.
I think it's open until it starts.
Yeah, I
I
mean,
don't think there's a drop dead time to register.
so it's through Handshake. And I'm sure that the link has been shared via social media. Maybe it's been posted in the newsletter. I'm not positive, but it will get advertised more, I'm sure. But by the time everyone hears this, it will have happened. But in the future, for future reference, we do this every semester, and it has been more than helpful. So I really enjoyed it. Lily's definitely willing to work with people one-on-one. So even if you can't attend the workshop, she's definitely, and she'll make you work. So it's not just like here, look at this, what do you think? Like she makes you work for it, and it has immensely helped me in how I write my resumes. So I would suggest everyone take advantage of such an amazing opportunity to work with her.
Yeah, I went to one of her workshops last semester and it was great. I didn't get to meet with her one on one. I just don't think I followed back up with her, but it was fantastic. She gave me so much good information, and my resume now is just fitting on one page. But my issue is I have to add now two more internships to it, and I don't know how to do that
Yeah.
without making it go more than a page.
Yeah, I definitely was one of those people that had like a 3-page long resume when I first started. And I was like, why does no one want to hire me? And it's like, no one's going to read that much.
No
Absolutely.
one, yeah, that's the issue.
Yeah. So
That's
she
the
was really
hard
helpful
part.
with that advice. And it was difficult to condense, but it helped that she directed what information is the most important, So instead of listing every single achievement I've ever had in my whole life, like I was however old when I learned to walk, apparently people don't care about that. So,
Another thing that she goes over is like to translate your military work and military terms into the civilian world, so civilian employers can understand what like we went through and what we had to do at our jobs in the military. So I thought that was great that she went over that as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, anyone hearing this who that strikes your fancy, please reach out to SVAF or RamVets, because we would be so more than happy to provide you her contact information and get you in touch with her so that you could build that up. It's better to start earlier, definitely, so that by the time you're ready to really send your resume out, once your degree is finished up, exactly what you're doing. So
she does cover letter workshops as well.
Yeah.
Which are super important because I'm so bad. I don't know about you, but I'm awful at writing cover letters.
I always feel like they're a little underrated, and not something that I think most people pay too much attention to, because a lot of places make them optional. I always try to submit one if I can, just to stand out a little bit, but then I have to worry about like tailoring it to them specifically, and like how do I do that? Like what is the most relevant information they're looking for? So she's been really helpful in that regard as well. So
exactly, but it's sort of difficult because like I have cover letters that worked for me in certain things in certain jobs I've applied for, and then I apply for something similar and I use somewhat the same baseline as I did for that, and I never hear back. So I just never know what a company's looking for within the cover letter. So
right.
It's crazy. It's crazy. They probably just type in words in like a generator and just if those words are there, they like you.
Kind of like how I think maybe it's LinkedIn or something, maybe clearance jobs, where they have like a category where it's just random words that you can select that are relevant to your profile, and people can look up those words and it'll bring them to your profile.
And you come right up.
Yeah, it's so weird. Such a weird concept. But like we said, please reach out to us at any point when you have the time, or that's something that's relevant to you. We would love to put you in contact with her. Other things that we have going on. Let's see. Today is Wednesday the 3rd that we're recording. By the time this episode gets released, it will be Friday and or Monday, just depending on the timeline. So normally, I hope everyone is aware, we do first Friday every month during the semester. And ideally, we try to make that an in-person social event, whether that be going to a museum and, maybe hanging out afterwards, depending on how many people there are per COVID regulation and things like that. But because most people can't leave their apartments, Mike included, we're going to be doing a virtual First Friday. So there's no registration. We might just end up meeting in the vet center, honestly, because it's the easiest Zoom link for everyone to access. And if not, then we will send one out to everyone tomorrow at the latest. So
what do we got going on Friday? Let's hear it.
Well, it's sort of up in the air, but I love games personally, and there are some that are not conducive to professional environments, but I think in an environment like First Friday, I think it's okay to go a little bit unorthodox.
Doesn't need to be so professional on First Fridays.
Right. So there could be a Cards Against Humanity moment, which Michael Golubeck brought into our life last week, and I think that we could reintroduce it. Someone suggested virtual flip cup, which I've never done, which would be interesting.
I'm not great. Highly suggest it.
Okay, I'm not great at drinking games, or like just cup centric games in general. So, obviously you could do it with water, you can do it with any beverage of your choice, but I don't have a great coordination. So it would be interesting, maybe less embarrassing in a virtual environment to do that, because then there's not as much pressure of people like waiting for me to flip my cup, But you said you've done it.
It's difficult because if someone like loses connection, then the entire game's just done. I mean, someone else will obviously go, but you can't tell who wins and who loses, which is probably the most important point of the game, is who wins, because I love bragging rights.
I mean, winning is the most important thing in life. Let's be honest with ourselves.
Winning and money.
I mean, those are almost synonymous with one another in some context. So, but maybe it's the experience that we had along the way. No one believes that. It's okay. I also was thinking maybe like I have cards for trivia, like ready made. So I was thinking maybe we could do like a trivia thing because it doesn't take too much effort, you know? So, but really it's just a chance for all of us to get together and do sort of a meet and greet, hangout thing to really kick off like the semester. As First Fridays come in the future, they'll be a little more organized this week, obviously, because of the blizzard. Things were a little bit up in the air. So I had to sort of scramble around that. But in general, I try to get them planned out at least 3 weeks ahead of time so that people have ample opportunity to sign up or get involved if that's what they want. So we'll be doing that. And the last thing I wanted to mention, because there's a pretty decent time frame up until when it happens on the 10th. I don't know if anyone who's listening did it last semester, but Navy Mutual met up with us and did a workshop. And Navy Mutual is really great because they do so many different topics. They cover like TSP, SGLI, they cover like taxes and like, you know, money-centric things that I definitely don't necessarily understand, things that are covered in the military. Like when I was at boot camp, they were like, here's what TSP is. And that was like the last I heard of it.
I'm still trying to figure out how to, like, I have money in my TSP, but I don't know. I can't do anything with it right now. I don't think.
You can actually take it out if you want.
Is there a fee?
There's a tax, but it's not extra. It's not astronomical or extraordinary in any way. So, let's say you have like $10,000, they may take like 200 from you.
I wish I had $10,000 in there.
So, contribute to your TSPs, people. But
yeah, definitely do that. I messed up on that end.
Yeah, I think I was doing 5% for the most part throughout my military tenure, but I don't know what's at now. I like to leave it untouched. That's like a nice surprise when I go look at it. I'm like,
I have no idea what you got.
Yeah, it's like a lottery, but you know, still like your money. So really, you're not winning anything. Sad. But Navy Mutual is really great in going over the details of that because there are definitely aspects that I don't understand and didn't understand. So I'll be setting up a registration for that and sending it out actually today when we're recording. So it's 7 days from now. So I try to do it a week ahead, like a week ahead of time for people to sign up and register for that. So really hope we get some good participation. I'll be there regardless. So
there's also OMVS event partnering with the Department of Veterans Affairs to have a one-on-one VA disability claim session, which I think is super important.
Very.
To have that information to go to if you haven't already claimed disability or you plan to, but you just don't know how to get started. That's on February 27th and it's at 7:30 in the morning. They'll meet with you virtually and help you individually with each claim. It's on a first come, first served basis. And you have to email veterans@fordham.edu to register for a time slot with a VA rep, and they'll go over the ins and outs of what you need, what paperwork, how you do it, what time it needs to be submitted, and basically just everything you know in order to get your disability claim. And I couldn't suggest anything more than that. It's so important to have.
Where were they when I was trying to submit mine? You know, like
I struggled so much with mine.
Yeah, it was hard. It's no one tells you the semantics that go into it. You know, you think it's gonna be this easy thing of like, here's this issue, here's my medical record, off you go. It's so much more complicated than that.
Nope.
Now I've got through, what is it, LHI or LIH or something like that. It's like their subsidiary that they work with for certain claims anyway. I have to go through like mental evaluations with them.
Yep.
And it's weird to prove your disability. It's very strange. Like, how am I supposed to exhibit this disability to you?
So you're currently going through the claim right now, or this was previous?
I'm still going through it because I had an appointment set up and it was a video conference and they called me and we sat down. But what I didn't really think about was that the doctor who was talking to me is only licensed in New York, and I was in Ohio at the time. So they couldn't even do the appointment with me because I was out of state and she's not legally allowed to practice. So I have to, and unfortunately that was like a 2-month waiting period after that. So I only just now have an appointment coming up mid-February for that. I submitted the claim back in June. So
were you still active when you submitted the claim?
I was, yeah.
Yeah. So I did mine. I started at like 6-7 months in advance and I got all my appointments done while I was still active. And then I got out, and the only thing I was waiting for was the number. So I was lucky enough I didn't have to go through any appointments out of when I was out or anything like that at the VA, because I hate dealing with appointments at the VA because it's just so confusing sometimes.
Well, then COVID happened right after I submitted.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
appointments like weren't even an option. So that added an extra layer of difficulty.
But you'll get back paid for the entire thing.
You gotta hope, right? Like,
well, because I did, I got back paid for the months that like I missed.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure that's how it goes for everybody, no matter how long. Because like I know there's some like World War II veterans or something like that that are living at the VA that never did a claim. And one of my friends works for the VA and like does VA claims for people like that. And they got back paid for legitimately years.
Wow.
So
that's so much money.
Exactly. It's just a whole lump sum. It's insane what they can do for you.
Yeah. Yeah. I definitely would suggest anyone who is considering going to open a claim or is going through the difficulty of submitting a claim, a la myself, to attend this, I guess you'd call it a workshop, or, like just a counseling, I guess is a good word for it, on the 27th. So I will definitely be there at 7:30 because I don't want to wait all day to like have this discussion. So fight me. Come on, guys. Compete.
Exactly. Veterans at Fordham.edu is what you have to email in order to book a time slot. You might get lucky and you might have 11 a.m., not 7:30. So it's first come, first serve basis. If I was you guys, I would definitely email as quick as possible to get your time slot in, because you want your money. Everyone wants their money.
Yeah. And this is definitely a more difficult topic that I don't think is detailed enough. I think there's like this assumption that we just know what we're doing, and I have no idea. So
if you ask me right now what paperwork you needed, I would be silent.
I don't know.
I don't even know what I did to get
yeah.
mine in.
And there's also ones that you have to fill out to like let your medical facility be allowed to release your records, and it's just, and that paperwork gets lost all the time. I have filled that paperwork out at least 4 times. So really way more difficult than I anticipated. And I look forward to getting the details that I am now missing and having someone walk me through the process, because that's definitely what I needed when I first started. So
I know when you're out, because this is what my brother did. He has like a singular VA representative that he can just call whenever he has a question about paperwork or anything like that. So I'm not really sure how he did it, if I'm being completely honest, but he did it. And like whenever he is like redoing a claim, because he's resent in his claim 2 or 3 times now, he just calls them up and quickly they just answer everything they have. I was like, damn.
Okay.
You get in contact with them quickly.
I think I have a rep, but I don't know who they are.
Yeah,
which is probably on me, to be honest. But
I sit on hold on the VA line for like 15 minutes when I'm trying to get in contact.
Yeah, I mean that's pretty low as far as like a wait time. Like I've been on there for an hour or so before, just depending on when you call, what's going on. So really
especially at the beginning of COVID, and you were trying to get in touch with like the educational department. Oh, you were not getting in touch with them.
No, it was a nightmare. And luckily we have Seton and Mara, who are pretty good as far as getting veterans their information and letting them know like what they need to be doing. So we're lucky in that regard. But still, I go straight to the source almost every time, and those wait times were insane. So not as bad now, but still. So how have you been tolerating being snowed in?
I'm doing fine. I live with two of my close friends right now until I go back to school in June, but we're just playing some Xbox, hanging out. Not really doing too much. Been watching some TV. I watched the Night Stalker that was suggested.
So good, right?
Fantastic show. I watched it in one day.
Yeah, it's a docu-series, right? It's like 4 episodes or so.
Yeah, 4 or 5. It was something, but it was awesome.
Yeah, they did a really good job with it, I thought. Another one is The Ripper, which is a UK-based case, but similar in its in how they set the episodes up. So it's just another docu-series, but they did a good job with that too. Obviously, we're not as familiar with that because it's a different continent, but The Night Stalker I thought was fascinating.
Another I'm a big Barstool fan, and they just released a surviving Barstool. So it's like the show Survivor, just with the Barstool personalities instead. And like I follow them, so like I know their personalities and stuff like that. So that's been what I've been watching as well. It's been pretty interesting, I thought.
Interesting. Survivor stresses me out because I know I wouldn't do well.
Oh, I don't think I do that bad, but I hate like I go to the doctors for everything. I'm one of like I have a bug bite and I'm going to the doctors. So like I would just be miserable. I'd be itchy.
Yeah.
I don't know if I would like it.
I get hangry so easily,
Mhm.
which let me tell you, during this blizzard has been a test for me because Uber Eats is not as available as I would like.
Mhm.
And the first day I'm scrolling through it, it's like no curries available, no curries available, no curries available. And I'm like, why? But then I'm like, I respect it because I don't want people to endanger themselves just so that I can have Chipotle. But at the same time, I did not prepare for this.
You want Chipotle, so.
So, but I'm not going to leave. Like, I'm not going to go
Oh,
do that.
oh, do you
So
know how cold it is outside?
it's freezing. I also just tip very generously in such situations. So,
Especially if you're getting delivery in a snowstorm and you don't tip, there is a special place for you. I'm sorry.
I mean, I can't respect you as a person when you don't tip in general,
In general, of course.
but especially when someone is like risking their safety and or their warmth to bring
Mhm.
you some orange juice or something, like that's
T-
messed.
Tipping is important.
25% or bust during a snowstorm.
Important.
Very.
I just never have cash, so I always have to do it through the card, and then like it gets like doesn't get all of it. All of it doesn't get to them, so I got to start
Yeah.
bringing cash around with me.
Yeah. I try to keep fives and tens on me at most times, especially ones for like when I see a homeless person or something like that. I'm such a good person. No, I'm kidding. It's just, I think that cash is just so outdated, it's antiquated. No one carries cash anymore.
Yeah.
So,
See, the I like doing that as well. I gave a $10 bill out to a homeless man in front of Fordham the other day, but the issue with that is I would go broke if every time I walked out of my apartment I gave $10 or five. Like there's a lot of people that are asking for money
mm,
every single day walking down the street. So it's tough, but I like helping when I can.
yeah, I have two prominent homeless people in my community that I try to buy food for more often than I give money for, but
I think that's a much better way is to buy food or supplies or even like a jacket or something, especially in times like this, you know?
definitely. Yeah, I hope they're staying warm. I haven't seen them with the snow, so hope they're okay. But
Definitely hope so.
I really hope to see everyone for First Friday. Mike has to be there because I've told him about it, and I will otherwise be very upset if he
Mhm.
doesn't. And I guess
What
that's it.
time? What time is that going on? I don't know.
I
I
think
don't
I'm going
know.
to start it around. I want people to go after classes have ended, so I'll probably start it around like 6:30 or 7 p.m. I'm basing that off my classes, which start at like 2:30 in the afternoon. So maybe that's selfish of me, but am of course willing to suggestions. If that time doesn't work, please let me know. And then in the future, I will adjust it as needed. But I think 7, 8 at the latest is probably when I'm going to start.
Awesome. So you guys heard it 7 or 8 the latest on Friday for the first Friday event of the month. We're so excited to be here with you guys, walking you through this semester week by week. So if you guys have any questions, definitely reach out to the SVAF so we can help you guys with whatever we can. Emma, do you have any final things for this episode?
I think I've said everything I need to say. Uber Eats is my bro. We're besties. So
Uber Eats is the way to go. But that's all the time we have for today. Thanks for sticking along with us, and we'll be back next week with episode 7 of The Vet Scoop.
bye, guys.